The rain poured relentlessly over the city streets of Chicago, turning the sidewalks into slippery streams and the world into a blur of gray. Amid the chaos of hurried commuters and honking cars, one man stood out, not because of his suit, or his car, or his charm, but because of the weight he was carrying. Michael Thompson, a single dad barely scraping by with his 2 children, had his hands full, literally. In the middle of the storm, he spotted a woman struggling at the foot of a tall, narrow staircase leading into a downtown office building. Her wheelchair was stuck, the wheels catching on the uneven steps, and she was trying desperately to maneuver it alone. Michael didn't hesitate. He sprinted through the puddles, water soaking his worn-out jacket, and knelt beside her. "I can help," he said simply, his voice calm but steady. The woman looked up, her face a mixture of relief, exhaustion, and something else he couldn't quite place. She nodded, her grip on the wheelchair loosening just enough to let him take control. With all the strength he could muster, Michael lifted the wheelchair step by step, feeling every pound of the woman's struggle as if it were his own. Sweat mingled with rain, and his arms shook, but he didn't stop until she was safely at the top. That moment, that fleeting act of kindness, was more than just a simple good deed. It was the beginning of a chain of events that would change both of their lives forever. If you believe in kindness and the power of helping strangers, please take a moment to like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You never know whose life you might touch next. Her name was Rebecca Carter, a single mom who had built a small tech startup from scratch. Despite her immense success, she had recently been confined to a wheelchair after a severe car accident left her with limited mobility. The challenges of managing her growing company while struggling with her injury weighed heavily on her. That day, struggling to climb the stairs was a microcosm of her life. She had always faced obstacles, but this time she felt helpless. Michael's sudden appearance, drenched and determined, was nothing short of a miracle. After he helped her inside, she offered him a warm cup of coffee, but he declined politely, glancing at his watch. Michael had to pick up his children from school, prepare dinner, and somehow juggle the bills that never seemed to stop arriving. Yet, in that brief encounter, a connection was formed. Rebecca noticed his quiet strength, the dignity in his actions, and the genuine concern in his eyes. She had seen many people in her life, some kind, many selfish, but there was something about Michael that radiated authenticity. Weeks passed, and Michael and Rebecca's paths kept crossing, sometimes by chance, sometimes not. She began to rely on him for small errands, his gentle nature easing her anxieties, his unwavering dependability making life seem a little less daunting. Michael, in turn, admired her resilience, her ability to push forward despite the pain and limitations that had transformed her life. He shared stories of his children, their laughter echoing through his modest apartment, and Rebecca found herself smiling more than she had in months. But life wasn't easy for Michael. Being a single dad meant living paycheck to paycheck, working multiple jobs and sacrificing sleep to provide for his kids. Every day was a balancing act, every hour a struggle, yet his heart remained open. Helping Rebecca wasn't a chore, it was a choice, an instinctive act of humanity. He never expected gratitude, a reward, or recognition, and yet sometimes life has a way of returning kindness tenfold, often when you least expect it. One rainy afternoon, months after their first encounter, Rebecca called Michael with a request. Her company was facing a crisis. A critical deal was in jeopardy, and the staff were overwhelmed. She needed someone she could trust implicitly to step in temporarily to handle negotiations, manage operations, and keep the company afloat. Without hesitation, Michael agreed. Despite lacking corporate experience, he brought something far more valuable to the table: integrity, empathy, and an unmatched work ethic. Michael worked tirelessly, navigating complex contracts, resolving disputes, and inspiring a team that had grown weary under pressure. His presence transformed the office. Employees who were once disillusioned found hope again, impressed by his humility and determination. Every day, Rebecca watched him from her office window, her heart swelling with admiration. Here was a man who had faced countless hardships yet continued to act with unwavering kindness. She realized that his strength wasn't in the money he lacked or the title he didn't hold. It was in his character, the kind of leadership the company desperebly needed. Weeks turned into months, and the company's fortunes began to shift. Deals that had seemed impossible were secured, and a renewed sense of energy filled the office. Rebecca knew she had to make a decision, a life-changing decision. One morning she called Michael into her office, her wheelchair positioned near the desk. She looked him straight in the eyes and said the words that would alter the course of his life forever. She offered him the position of CEO. Michael, stunned, could hardly believe what he was hearing. From a man who had carried a stranger's wheelchair up a flight of stairs to the helm of a thriving company, it was surreal, almost dreamlike. Accepting the role, Michael brought the same principles that had guided his life into his leadership: empathy, fairness, and an unshakable belief in the power of human connection. Under his guidance, the company didn't just recover, it flourished. Employees felt valued, clients felt respected, and the work environment transformed into one of collaboration and compassion. Michael never forgot where he came from, never lost sight of the struggles that had shaped him. And through it all, Rebecca remained a steadfast partner and friend, her gratitude expressed not just in words, but in the trust and opportunity she had extended. The story of Michael and Rebecca is more than a tale of career success. It is a testament to the impact of simple acts of kindness, a single decision, a moment of courage, a willingness to help another human being can create ripples that change lives in unimaginable ways. For Michael, helping a stranger was the first step in a journey that brought him stability, respect, and a renewed sense of purpose. For Rebecca, trusting in the humanity of another person restored her faith in people and allowed her company to thrive in ways she had never imagined. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps spread the message that kindness matters, that second chances are real, and that sometimes the most extraordinary transformations begin with the simplest acts. And before we close, I would love for you to leave a comment sharing a time when someone's kindness changed your life. It could inspire someone else watching this video. In the end, Michael didn't just carry a wheelchair up a flight of stairs, he carried hope. He carried belief. He carried the reminder that life is often about what we give, not what we receive. And sometimes, the universe rewards those who act with pure heart, offering them opportunities they never dreamed possible. Through perseverance, compassion, and courage, he showed the world, and himself, that even in the hardest moments, human connection and kindness can lead to miracles.